Luke chapter 19. We're going to commence reading at verse number 37 down to verse number 40. Just a little bit more, just a little more bass there. Verse 37 reads as follows: And when he was come nigh, even now, at the descent or the bottom of the Mount of Olives, the whole multitude of the disciples began to rejoice and praise God with a loud voice for all the mighty works that they had seen, saying, Blessed be the King that cometh in the name of the Lord, peace in heaven and glory in the highest. And some of the Pharisees from among the multitude said unto him, Master, rebuke thy disciples. And he answered and said unto them, I tell you that if these should hold their peace, the stones would immediately cry out. Listen to this. And he, being Jesus, the impediment of God himself, Jesus said unto them and unto us, I tell you, which is plural, I tell all of you that listen to these words, that if these, being you, should hold your peace, the stone would immediately cry out. I want to talk about briefly, you don't have a right to remain silent. You don't have a right to remain silent. These words came and have come to grips in a capital, communicable way that the law enforces what is known as rights. When one is under investigation, under arrest or suspicion, they will give you these options. They will say to you, you have the right to remain silent. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed unto you. But you got a right to remain silent. You got a right to keep quiet. You got a right to hush. You got a right to stay cool and stay calm. This is your right. But I want to say to you, in God's house, when it comes to public worship, public praise, you don't have that right to remain silent. You don't have that right. According to Scripture, according to the Word of God, you don't have a right to sit in a pew, paralyzed, cute, cold, and calm, stiff like a cucumber. You don't have that right in God's house. Your house, you have rights. But when you come to God's house, matter of fact, the psalmist said it, and it's in the imperative mood, which means it's a command. Enter into his gates. Sound like he's asking. Don't sound like he's asking to me. Enter into my gates with thanksgiving. See, you don't understand. I just said thanksgiving, which means you ought to be giving him some thanks. And you can't thank God quietly. Enter into his courts with praise. Tehillah, not tequila. Y'all will get that on the way home. Word tehillah mean with a loud, boisterous, boastful sound. Being confident in the one that you are talking about. I wish I had a witness in here. See, can I talk with you? And we're going to move to the text. If you uplift Jesus, Jesus will uplift you. But can I drop this on you and we'll move to the point? Can Jesus lift you so high that you forget to say thank you? I'm looking at some of you today. Don't look like a thank you on your face. You feel entitled and not thankful. You are not entitled to anything. There are some people that have lived better than you, served better than you, but are struggling worse than you. You cannot be paralyzed in the pew with entitlement. You've got to be in God's house with thanksgiving. Thankful that he gave you another chance. I wish I had a witness in here. Thankful that your heart is still beating. Your mind is still regulating. Your eyes are still flashing like cameras. God's been good to you. There ought to be some thanksgiving in God's house. And I'm not talking about turkey dressing and gravy. I'm talking about, Lord, you done brought me from a mighty long. It's a shame. It's a shame that church folks have to go to the club to relieve pressure. Come on. Come on, let's be honest. Let's be honest, come on. I know you're dressed up today. Got your pink on, your ruby, your red, your emerald, your green. I understand. But let's be honest. There's some clubbers in here. All right. You didn't like that, brother, right? Let's put a 2-letter term to it. There's some ex-clubbers. Can I see a witness of some ex-clubbers? I ain't talking about line dancing in the street. I wish I had a witness in here. But when you went, you did not go to be cute and cold. If what you were sipping, don't act like y'all don't know. If what you were sipping had an sugar effect, because alcohol don't get you drunk, it's the sugar. Looked like somebody had too much sugar this morning. Maybe it's leftover from last night. Amen, lights. When you get a content of the sugar, it gives one an effect to lose themselves. You cannot be in God's house and be yourself. Come here. Let me put you on Bible ground, John. Jesus said, deny yourself. Pick up your cross and follow me. In church, praise and worship is not about you. It's about Jesus Christ. And see, you and I are trying to bring the atmosphere. An atmosphere of praise that Jesus Christ can get the glory and you and I can get deliverance. But many of us are singing that old blues song. And I heard it last night. I can't get no satisfaction. Many people are too cute to praise God. Many people are too rich to praise God. Many people are too shy to praise God. But you get over all of that when you got a file record. See, y'all don't understand what I just said. Your computer, your Android, your iPhone has a data bank. Lord, help your boy. And when you got a reference in your data bank, how good God been to you. You don't care where you are. You don't care who looking. It can be at the church house, the school house, the doctor's house, the outhouse, and anybody else's house. But when God go to moving, I ought to have a witness right there. When the Spirit go to moving and you go to reminiscing about where God have brought you from, what he done brought you out of, what he done brought you through, what he done brought you out, what he done brought you over, what he done kept you from under, God ought to be lifted up in the church house, and somebody in here ought to feel his presence and say, I can't help myself. I done got to thinking about how good he been, how many birthdays I done had, mama gone, daddy gone, children gone, God still got me here. I got something to shout about. I got something to lift my hands about. I got something to open my mouth about. God is a good God. No matter what I'm going through, I got somebody. Listen, I'm through. Let's look at the text. Let's look at the text. Luke chapter 19, read it when you get home, a marvelous chapter. The Jerusalem discourse. Jesus is finally in Luke chapter 19, Moody. He's getting ready to introduce himself. He's been somewhat incognito. He's been somewhat hiding who he was because the time was not right. But now the apples are ripe. The oranges are sweet. The peaches are ready to be picked. And God is sending his son now at the time. It's for people to know who you are. I wish I had a witness in here. That time God will keep you on the back burner. Talk with me, somebody. But then every now and then God will put you on display to let somebody know whose you are and whose you've been serving. And when God puts you on display, you don't get arrogant about it. You get humble about it. And you'll look at your neighbor, your friend, your loved one, your family, and you'll say it like this: my soul look back and wonder. It wasn't money. It wasn't Abraham Lincoln. It wasn't George Washington. It wasn't car. It wasn't truck. It wasn't a loved one. It wasn't Pookie, Ray Ray, Boo Boo. It wasn't Shanae. It wasn't a flat screen and no other screen. Nobody but Jesus. Nobody but Jesus. He's getting ready to go into Jerusalem. This would be his last ride, because after this he's on his way to the cross. He gathers his disciples and they start walking from out of Bethany, headed down to the Mount of Olives on their way to Jerusalem. Emerson, they're walking. Jesus is leading this procession. On halfway into the Mount of Olives, Jesus stops this crowd and say, hey, let me tell y'all something. There's a man down the street, got a donkey. Y'all don't know when to get happy. Let me stop y'all for a moment. Hold up, brothers. Hold up, sisters. Wait. Down the street, there's a man around the corner. 2 blocks down, make a left, first right. Got a donkey. And it's not a normal donkey. This is an unnormal donkey. Nobody ever rode this donkey. Y'all don't know when to get happy. This is not a used donkey. This is a new donkey. I wish I had a witness in here. And nobody have ever ridden this donkey. But what I want y'all to do, go down there and tell that man that the master has need for his donkey. Y'all don't know when to shout. Go tell him I said I have need of his donkey. And when you go, bring the donkey back to me. Y'all gonna help me here, aren't you? They say go tell the man there's no argument. Man gives his donkey. Can I ask you a question? What you willing to give today? What are you willing to give Christ today? If one man is willing to give him a donkey, somebody ought to be willing to give him himself. I wish I had some witness here. What are you willing to give the Lord? Go tell him I need this donkey. Bring the donkey back to Jesus. Jesus gets on the donkey. The donkey don't buck. What was Jesus saying? What was Jesus saying to you and to these disciples about this donkey? Jesus was saying, watch this, 2 things. Number 1, I'm going into town as the King of Peace. A donkey to the Jews was an animal of peace. A donkey never started a fight. Y'all get that on the way home. So Jesus was saying, I'm going in to announce myself as King of Peace. But the second thought of the donkey is that a donkey is stubborn. A donkey got long ears that droops over his face, which limits his sight. A donkey is hesitant, slow to move. Jesus was saying to you and I, the reason I want you to see this donkey and experience me riding an untamed donkey is because I'm going to have to tame an untamed humanity. I've got some donkey-like folks who are stubborn. Y'all ain't going to help me here. Won't move. Say we're missionary, but we're stationary. Talk with me, somebody. And I've got to deal with them. And if I can deal with this beast, I can deal with mankind. He's on his way now. That donkey kicking up a little dirt from the hoofs. Crowd following Jesus. And they're crying, Hosanna. Hosanna. Come here, verse 37. Verse 37 said, watch text, said, they began, watch this, to praise and rejoice God. When he came to the bottom of the Mount of Olives, the whole multitude of the disciples began to rejoice, carol, and praise Aneo, God, Theos. They began to carry out Aneo, Theos with a loud voice for all the mighty work that they had seen. They began to lift up their voices and thank Jesus for everything they had seen. What have they seen? They seen him take a boy's lunch. Some sardines and some light bread. Y'all gonna help me, aren't you? They seen him stoop down and get dirt for a blind man. Spit in his hand. Get it wet in moisture. Get it down to a size. And anoint the man's eyes. And tell him to go wash in the pool of Siloam. They seen that. They seen him walk in the cemetery when all the graves were flip-flopping and jumping, waiting on the voice of Jesus. But everybody didn't get the announcement that day. But there was one that he said, Lazarus, I had a witness in here. We've seen this. We've seen him when the boat was reeling and rocking and we were nervous and afraid and we didn't know what was going to happen. We thought we were drowning, but we saw him walk on water. I ought to have a witness in here. We saw it. We saw him one Sunday evening at a wedding when there was no bootlegger and the ABC store was closed. And he told him, get me some water in 6 pots. I wish I had a witness in here. And goes behind closed doors and have a conversation with the water. And say, listen, water, I need your help. The water said, Jesus, what do you want? We ain't never disobeyed you. I wish I had a witness in here. When you told us to open up a Highway 75 across the Red Sea, we done that. When you told us not to rain for 3.5 years, we did that. When you told us to rain for 40 days and 40 nights, we done that. So if it's wine you want, it's wine you will get somewhere between the sip and the dip. I wish I had a witness in here. We seen that. And let me run this for some references in here. Some of you done seen him as a healer. I wish I had a witness in here. Some of you, Brown, have seen him as a deliverer. We see, number one, watch this. We see the duty to shout. You have a duty to shout. Come here. Come here. Why, Reverend? Here it go. Biblical term. If you lose your witness, nobody else will ever know. See, Sister Emerson, Sister Dawn, my friend who on her way out of here next week, and I told her we ain't gonna keep giving her excuses. Let me say this to you. The only way people will know how good God been to you, you got to tell it. See, he did it for you to tell it. See, somebody is like the cliche. I'm from Missouri. In school, Vicky Lane, they used to do show and tell. I wish I had a witness in here. See, somebody in here, somebody don't know how good he been to you, so you need to do a show and tell. Lord have mercy. Look where he brought me from. Look where I am. Look what he brought me out of. I can show you better than I can even tell you. God been good and merciful and kind and loving to an ungrateful generation. We got a duty to shout. Come here. I don't know where Brother Speed at. Where you at, Brother Speed? Tennessee lost yesterday. You got to get close to your pastor because Alabama won. Y'all don't know when to shout. Thank you, Sister Brooks. Thank you. I got an Alabama fan in here. Thank you. There you go, on. There you go. There you go. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. But watch this. When the team was down, Eli Gold, and I know Sister Brooks, they probably know him. He owns an expensive Italian restaurant in Alabama, Birmingham, on Highway 31. He's been the voice for Alabama for many years. Sports commentator Eli Gold. Eli Gold said these words yesterday. We rush home after we left here. Wonder we didn't get 2 tickets and 3 accidents trying to get to see Alabama. We rushed home. Eli Gold says at halftime they were down. Watch this. He said it wasn't the team that got them together. It was the crowd. Okay, write it down. Here it go. Here it go. Here it go, Jones. Here it go. Here it go, Moody. At your house, you have 2 things in your house that determines temperature. Thermometer, thermostat. Okay, y'all gonna get it in a minute. I'm going somewhere with environmental praise. You have 2 instruments in your home. If it's modern day home and you revamped it and revived your house, you have a heating and cooling system that's operated by a thermometer and a thermostat. Now watch this. The thermometer does not need your help. The thermometer reacts by the thermostat. Okay, all right. If you turn the thermostat up, mercury goes up, which in order kicks on, watch this, the thermometer, it registers and then heat comes on. Cut it down, the opposite. Mercury go down, air comes on. You have a thermostatical praise in you. That whatever room you walk in, you ought to set the environment to your praise. I wish somebody didn't know. Instead of walking in hell, start walking in the spirit. Set your environment. Start speaking in God, you with me today. God, you gonna bless me today. God, you gonna keep me today. God, my family gonna be blessed today. God, is gonna be a good day today. God, is gonna be a restful night tonight. Start setting your atmosphere. Walk in the doctor's office. It's a good report today. Walk into your job saying it's a good day today. Start setting your environment. Come here. God did not create you for stress. Come here, right? Come here. I'm going to move on. Come here. Come here. Come here, Smith. Peter said, John, cast, epirypto. Epirypto means to throw. Now watch what Isaiah said. Isaiah said, if your burdens get too heavy, you can't throw them. Isaiah said, roll them. God almighty. What? See, you wasn't made to handle stress. You were made to give off praise. But you got to learn to turn your pain into praise. Turn your pressure into praise. I wish I had somebody in here can say, I'm learning every day when I wake up in the morning to say, Lord, I thank you. I got to do this. I got to do this. Come here. Come here. Watch this. They start praising Jesus. Here we go. You always got a crowd of haters. Wherever there's a duty to shout. Number 2 speed, there's a desire to stop. A duty to shout. But the text also says there's a desire to stop. Look at verse 37. Watch what verse 37 said. It said, they got to the bottom of the mountain. Disciples, not Pharisees, disciples, those who know him, rejoicing and praising God with a loud voice. Watch this. Verse number 39 said, some of the Pharisees from the multitude said, Master, rebuke thy disciples. Master, didaskalos, rebuke epitemaio, thy martyrios. Master, rebuke thy disciples. Teacher, epitemaio, teacher, rebuke, make them shut up. Make your disciples. The people that love you, make them to shut up. And the reason they wanted them to shut up, because the English version says master. But the original version, epitemaio, means teacher. They only saw Jesus as a teacher and not as a master. But when you see him as your Savior, you ain't going to tell nobody to shut up. Because when you ought to be on your way to hell, he snatched you from hell's pit and gave you a get out of hell free card. And every chance I get, I woke up this morning with my mind stayed. The Pharisee tell Jesus to tell him to hush. Come here, Pleasant Green. You know why some people don't want you to praise the Lord? Write it down. Because it exposed others who are not doing it. When you standing up, but your neighbor sitting down, and y'all serve the same God, the same DNA, the same bread of heaven, feed me till I, the same water that if you drink from this water, you'll never thirst again. The same Father, I stretch my hands to thee. No other help I know. When you start to praise him, others don't, you expose them. You make others look back and wonder, y'all for real when you sitting down? Driving nice, living nice, but not shouting nice. Y'all get that on the way home. Good credit, nice home, nice family, but quiet in Sunday morning service. And you say the Lord been good to you. Where's your proof? Proof is not stuff. Proof is not how long I've lived. Proof is he just been good to me. Do I have any proof in the house that God just been good to you? You ain't always did right. You ain't always thought right. You ain't always acted right. But he looked beyond your thoughts. Do I have any witnesses in here can say I'm living proof what God do for your neighbor? Hey! Can I ask you a question, Pleasant Green, and we through, right? We going home. We get some pork chop and rice and gravy and some biscuits. Listen, Pleasant Green. Come here for you that's quiet today. Why is it that they wanted the disciples to hush when nobody was getting hurt? You knew when we started out, we were praising Jesus. Y'all gonna get it here in a minute. When we started leaving Bethany, we were making noise then. Okay. Why would you come to church to spoil us that want to make noise? Don't y'all look at me like that. Don't start none. Ain't got to be none. Now, I ain't no killer, but don't push me. Why is it that you would dress up? Ladies, twist your hair, braid your hair, glue your hair, stitch your hair. 4 or 5 different color lipstick, makeup, and rouge, and powder, and clay. Men, why you come? To sit here and be macho? You trying to get a date? You act like you all of that in a bag of chips, but you was hollering at the game. You celebrating the feelings, you want the braids to look weird. They done lost. But when you come to church, nobody won't say nothing. Why come? Why go to the party to sit down? Well, I just come because I've been, I'm a habit. I just a habit. Well, you need to change your habit. And ushers, it bothers me when folks rejoicing and you fanning. No, get these sleepy ones. Walk them around Rough Arena. Pour a little water on them. Wake them up. But leave these hot ones alone. Bro, Brooke, don't touch a hot one. When you on the door, you and Brown, leave them hot ones alone. But them that need to be in ICU, call the wagon. Sick wagon. Why would they show up in the procession of praise and don't want no praise going on? Praise wasn't hurting nobody. Matter of fact, somebody's house was not getting broken in because they was in the praise procession. Somebody's daughter was not getting pregnant premature because they was in the praise procession. I wish I had a witness in here. Somebody was getting healed and delivered and set free because they was in the praise procession. Praise hurts nobody, but praise helps everybody. Do I have a witness in here? There have been times I've been depressed, but I walk outside and start looking at the sun and how it's shining. Start looking over the horizon back toward Alabama. I wish I had some help in here. And start saying, Lord, I just thank you, sir. Oh, I'm about through here. I'm about through. Let me get to my last point. Let me Speed and call me and be guilty of my last point. Here it goes, Speed. Here it go. We see a duty to shout, a desire to stop. But Jesus said, I want to give you a decision to start. Watch this. Jesus, tell him to shut up. Watch this. Jesus said in verse 40, if these is plural. If you should hold Sophia, S-O-P-I-A-O, Sophia is where we get our English word mute. Who got a remote control? Got a what on it? Well, what the mute is used for? Watch this. Watch this. Brown Jesus said, watch this. If you turn yourself on mute, when you ought to be loud, y'all ain't talking. But if you choose to mute yourself, when God been good to you, and you sit here and stand here and desire to put your hand over your mouth. He said, watch this. What's going to happen is the stones going to cry out. Well, I'm through. I'm through, Brother Chapman. Here it go. Here it go, brother people, sister people. Here it go. Here it go, Pleasant Green. Here it go. Come here. Why you didn't shout when I said he going to turn. Watch these. These stones would shout. The reason you didn't shout, because I didn't paint you the picture. Let me go Michelangelo. Let me get my spiritual brush out and paint the picture where we all can shout and go home and get something to eat. Watch this. I told you earlier He was leaving Bethany on his way to the Mount of Olives, on his way into Jerusalem. We're coming out of the Mount of Olives. When you got to the bottom of the mount, on the left was a cemetery. On the right of the Mount of Olives was the Garden of Gethsemane. So when Jesus is walking and the folk is shouting and praising, the Pharisees are saying hush. So Jesus stops and looks to the left. To this day, Pleasant Green, biblically, truthfully, true story, to this day, Ben Brown, the oldest cemetery, the oldest Jewish cemetery is at the bottom of the Mount of Olives. To this day. Run that rabbit shit. To this day. It holds between 70,000 and 150,000 bodies in Jesus' day. Watch this. When Jesus stops, they don't want him to be praised no more. He looks at that cemetery. And the grave was marked with stones. I feel it here now. I feel my help right. I'm finna land now. I'm finna come on in. He looks at that cemetery. Jones to the left. Come here, Pleasant Green. What Jesus was saying in this cemetery is some people that believed in me before I arrived in incarnation. Matter of fact, records say Abraham is buried in that cemetery. Y'all don't know when to shout here. Jesus was saying, it's some people that's in this cemetery that have believed on me. They believe that I am the Son of God. And if you don't want to praise me, it's all right. I got some stones. I wish I had a witness in here. I got some rocks that can cry out. Can I get a witness? But Pleasant Green, I don't want a rock crying out for me. Can I get a witness? The only rock that I want to cry out for me is the rock of ages, a rock in a weary land. Can I get a witness? I made up my mind. I'm going to praise my Lord. It don't matter where I am. It don't matter how you look at me. God been good to me. Can I get a witness? I got to praise my God from the rising of the sun to the going down of the same. God been good to me. God brought me from a mighty long way. Can I get a witness? I'm on my way out of here now. Brother writes, there's a man by the name of James Franklin. James Franklin is 79 years old. Brother James Franklin this past week was in the barber shop down in Alabama. My preacher friend, Dr. Alford, told me last night that Brother Franklin was in the barber shop praising the Lord, talking about how good the Lord been to him, how far the Lord had brought him. But every time Brother Franklin would talk about the Lord, his glasses would fall off his face. But Brother Franklin would take his hand, push his glasses back up, go to talking about how good the Lord been. His glasses would fall back down, take his hand, push them back up. Say, the Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. A young boy in the barber shop said, Brother Franklin, every time you talk about Jesus, your glasses fall off your eyes. I want to know why you keep pushing your glasses back up. Brother Franklin got out the barber chair with that coat around his neck and said, sir, I got to tell you this. Last year, I came out the grocery store, and when I come out the grocery store, I dropped my keys, picked up my keys, my glasses fell off my eyes, pushed my glasses back up, saw a car coming down the street, man shot, trying to shoot somebody else, but the bullet did not hit me. The bullet hit the rim of my glasses, and it left me a scar. So every time I talk about Jesus and my glasses come off my face, when I'm pushing back up, I'm telling it loud, I can see so much you done for me. Anybody in here can see so much he's done for you. Can you stand to your feet? Can you give him some praise? Say yeah! Say yeah! Shake somebody's hand. Put your arm around somebody. Say, neighbor, I can see so much he's done for me. Food on my table, clothes on my back, peace in my mind, pep in my step, grace and mercy. I can see so much he's done for me. Anybody in here can look back over your life and see what he done for you. Say yeah, say yeah, say yeah, yeah. Turn to somebody. Turn to somebody. Turn to somebody and hold their hand. And hold their hand. And hold their hand. And look them in the eye. And tell them these words. I've had my share of ups and downs. I've had to cry in the midnight hour. I've faced the flow all night long. But say, neighbor, out of all I've been through, the Lord been good to little old me. Ain't he all right? Ain't he been good? Say yeah! Say yeah! Listen, the door is open.